Trial Lawyers Association against House Bill 4239. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Laura Tamez. I am the president of Texas Trial Lawyers Association. I want to thank Representative Asut for meeting with members of the team to hear some of our concerns. On this particular bill dealing with Chapter 95, as we know, for the last 27 years, Chapter 95 has limited liability by affirmative defense for business and commercial property owners in work injury premises cases that involve construction, renovation, modification, repair. The common law has expanded the definition of property owners to owner-occupier under Chapter 95, which includes home builders, well operators, general contractors. So if at reading House Bill 4239 of the proposition of the bill is to protect homeowners, the Section 01 in terms of applicability, which a defendant would have to, that would be the burden to show applicability. Homeowners are not included in the code at the moment. It's really for primarily business and commercial purposes. And secondly, again, just from a strictly construction or statutory construction perspective, the concerning section is Section B, where a property owner is not liable for personal injury or death if the employer of the worker who is injured or killed does not maintain workers' comp insurance. The Chapter 95 actually incentivizes all to carry workers' comp in subsection 04 by actually giving a discount in the event of a judgment for those benefits that have been paid out to either the family or the worker. So we are more than happy to continue the conversation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Laura, members, any questions? Okay. All right. Rick? Craig, sorry. Come back to you, Craig. Craig, I've got you here testifying on behalf of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association. It just says Texas Trial Lawyers. Do you want it to say Texas Trial Lawyers Association?
Yes.
Okay. And yourself, and you're testifying against House Bill 4239. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Representative Asut for meeting with us yesterday. I think one way to put this bill as currently drafted is there's a policy decision for y'all to make, and that is right now, the legislature has decided that Texas will not require workers' compensation to be purchased by employers. What this bill would do would punish an injured employee of an employer who has made a very lawful decision to not carry workers' comp. And so that's a policy decision for y'all if y'all want to now, in essence, punish an employee who works for an employer that chooses not to carry comp. It's not the employee's choice to carry comp or not. So, and I was waiting to hear proponents for the bill. What I think this is about, perhaps, is that after a storm, we have out-of-state contractors come in, and maybe they're not as good as our contractors or roofers or whatever. And so perhaps you want to consider in this limited instance requiring workers' compensation on an insurance restoration project to require workers' compensation, and then you have alleviated your concern about the homeowner. Because this, as it is now, as we talked yesterday, if I'm the homeowner and if the contractor, the general contractor, and the subs don't carry workers' comp, I'm immune, then I would tell them, don't carry workers' comp on my project at my house, because that way I know I can't be sued by anybody for any purpose. I think that's, as we discussed, I think that's not a good policy. But anyway, and if you are going to do something, and if you are going to put it in Chapter 95, then I would suggest that you create a new subchapter, because Chapter 95A has a lot of history, has a lot of law, and if you throw this into it, I don't know what that mix-up is going to look like. So create its own separate chapter so we don't jack with this main one. And if you're going to do something like this, I would suggest you do it only for residential, not commercial. But again, the state has made a policy decision to not require workers' comp. I'm happy, I'd be supportive if we decided to require people to have workers' comp, or even in this limited circumstance. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of unintended consequences as written. But we will continue to work with you.
Yeah, I'll continue to talk. Rick, I've got you here testifying. You okay? Do you want to ask questions? Okay, members, any questions? Okay. Rick Levy here on behalf of